And this is teacher Jacob. Welcome to this class. Um, let's start the class with this. So this is our Rajan's school, the countryside, the best way for learning English. And this class is for eighth grade. Okay, so today we are going to study page 78. So I need this, you understand that. So we're going to study page 78. It's going to be about reading class. Remember, reading class. And remember, it's very special because we're going to start a new unit. It's going to be about um, unit 7. Okay. So we're going to start unit 7. And let's start right now. One moment. Yes, so this class is a reading class, okay? Keep in mind that we are going to study a reading class. And now let's go to the reading class. Remember, in reading class, you have to do four activities. So activity number 1, it's to look at the reading and circle the words that you don't understand. It is going to be individually. So imagine, just using your imagination. So I don't know what it means styles. So I circle styles, followed. I don't know what is that. War, baggy. I don't know what is that, and backgrounds. I don't know what is that. Also, so you're going to circle the words that you don't understand. Activity number 1 from all the reading. Okay, it's very important. Remember, to understand reading comprehension, what you need to do basically is to have vocabulary. So if you don't have vocabulary, it's going to be difficult for you to understand what are you reading too. So that's why it's necessary um, to write the words that you don't understand. So you give me a circle. Perhaps you can write here in this side, you can write a list of the words that you don't understand. Nevertheless, my suggestion is that you write on your notebook and then you check out the meaning and try to memorize. I mean, you need to work in those words that you don't understand, and you can increase your vocabulary and you can read better. Okay. Activity 1: look at the dictionary words that you don't understand. Give circle and write a list, or go to your notebook, and at the end, you remember we divided the notebook in two parts: a vocabulary class and the other abilities. So you write in the middle the words that you don't understand. That's all. Okay, activity number 2. I think it is very important too. It is you need is to do the exercise is underline with a red color the verbs. Verbs are very important. If you understand and you want to comprehend while you're reading, it's mandatory to have verbs. Verbs are, in my opinion, the main one of the main topics to understand. Any phrase, anything you are talking, those phrases that you're talking and that you are reading, they must need to have verbs in present, in past, but in past participle, but they need. So I need you discover how many verbs can you see in this article or in this reading. Okay. So for example, I'm taking the color red and I'm looking for a verb. So it's here. Okay, parents dress. Here is a verb, so underline dressed. Word, so underline word. Wore, another verb. Pants. and jacket and was is another verb. Started another verb. Okay, on no. So activity two is just underline the verbs in the reading. Why? Because verbs are very important too. Activity three, it's I want to see you do this because later you have to you have to record your voice with all the readings. I mean, I need is you read. I need you try to understand that one of the best options for learning how to read is just speaking louder. I mean, you also listen to yourself and read like you're reading in Spanish. So my idea is that you understand that when you are reading in English, it's gonna be the same way, the same speed that when you are reading in Spanish. Or both are the same speed. So you need to understand, you need to say, okay, I understand the words, so I don't need to think too much. But basically, what are you doing here is making the connection with the sounds and the words. You know, associate letters with sounds with words, and then you can understand better when you are reading louder than when you are reading in silence. Those are different. What we are gonna do. So activity three is listen, read, and speak. Okay, listen, read, and speak. Let's do it. Come on, let's go. Let's do it. Activity three. Before that, I forgot to tell you that this unit seven is about fashion. You know, especially teenagers, all the generations, uh, they are changing fashion all the time because of the teenagers. So teenagers are changing all the time the fashion, especially the way they dress and the way they are with clothes, with so many things. So look at this. This is the value tolerance. Never judge a book by its covers. That's right. It happens in Colombia. In Colombia, if you don't dress correctly, you're a bad person. You are you are a person who doesn't have education because people think that you are a bad man or you are an educated person because you don't dress correctly. And that's our culture because and there are a lot of people, especially in Europe, that they dress as they like to dress, and it doesn't matter if that person dressed badly, but he or she is a nice person. So never judge a book by its cover. I mean, never judge a person because the way they dress. It is a good message for all the teenagers, especially you. And you understand that it doesn't matter. I mean, I can dress very bad. I can dress without any fashion, but it doesn't mean that I'm not intelligent. And you know, even generations, fashions, fashion in general, it's just to keep in mind. It's to to get money from teenagers. In other words, all right. So let's read from here until the end. All right, let's do it. So unit seven is about fashion. So how important is fashion for you? How important is fashion for you? So value the tolerance, never judge a book by its covers. Uh, one, read these statements and decide if you agree or disagree. A, most young people are interested in fashion. So you say yes or not. Okay, keep in mind, fashion is always expensive. What do you think? Good. C, teams judge each other by the clothes they wear. Yeah, it happens. Okay, you answer to me. Yes, you can write here. No, it's not. Oh, yes, all the time. D, feeling good about yourself is important than looking good. That's good. So how do you think about yourself? Okay. And that's all. Nothing. Working pairs, compare your opinions, and that's all. Okay, so you can write here the answers or your suggestion that you have about fashion and so on. Let's go. Let's go to the reading this. So remember the idea here is to listen, read, and speak. Listen, read, and speak. at the same time. So activity one, very slow, and perhaps you can understand better. So, okay, let's go. Changing styles. 100 years ago, parents dressed their children. Girls wore pretty dresses, and boys wore formal pants with shirts and jackets. But in the 1950s, there was a fashion revolution. Young people started to create their own styles. In the 50s, rock and roll music became popular. Young people who lived the music were called rockers. They liked wearing jeans, t-shirts, and leather jackets, and greasy, and their hair back. In the 1960s, hippies rebelled against conservative society. They had long hair and wore looser, more colorful clothes and sandals. They often listened to psy- psychedelic rock music that older people did not understand. In the 1970s, punks wanted to shock people with their appearance. They were anti-system. They had dramatic hair, wore old clothes with safely pins, and listened to louder, more aggressive rock. Hip hop started in America Citizen in the 1980s. It made break dancing and rock music popular. People who followed this style wore sneakers, baggy pants, and baseball caps, backgrounds on their heads, and they also liked wearing big pieces of jewelry. During the 19th, Rush appeared. They started wearing dark clothes and makeup. They had a more romantic image than many other styles and often wore old-fashioned shirts and coats and big leather boots. Nowadays, clothes are more and Nowadays, clothes are more a question of personal style. You can see rockers, punks, hippies, and in the same places. Golf in the same place. When they wear these styles today, most young people are not really rebelling. They are using clothes and music to express their personality and interest. All right. So my idea is that you do the same exercise that I did. You have to read very quick. Reading in all words. So repeating that. Uh, well, what you do next activity is going to be about the next page. It's about reading comprehension. So this you're gonna do the activity number one, two, three only three activities. Okay, no more, no more. Just one, two, three. But keep in mind this, this is very great. This is great to express you, giving you an idea or giving you a help how to understand reading comprehension. So let me see this reading cloth styles. So scanning for specific details. That's good. That's one of the most difficult part in the reading comprehension. Scanning and specific details. So just to understand some basic or main ideas that the writer wants to express to people when they're writing an article like this. So this is a good scanning for specific details. Yeah, it's complicated because we need to discover what the writers wants to tell us about the reading comprehension and so on. So work in pairs picture discuss the question: Do people where you live wear any other style shown? So this you have to answer the questions here. So you have to write here, here, and read the article and label picture with a style. So he hopped. So according to the pictures, you're gonna